Hey guys, good morning. I had an appointment this morning and just wanted to touch base with you and share something that I actually don't think I have ever told anyone. And it isn't purposefully, it just wasn't ever something that I fine-tuned and really thought much of. But now that I kind of look back, I'm like, yeah, I do that, and it has been pretty powerful, and it has been pretty important in my success and in my journey as a coach. And that is that before I kind of go into a new month, although I have my marketing strategy and my marketing plan in place, I do these 3 things that permit me the opportunity to not just reflect, but to celebrate my wins and to think about the things that I can do better with. And those 3 things aren't really traditional. I just kind of realized that over time they were things that I adopted that have helped me. And so I want to walk you through what those 3 things are. And I would encourage you to kind of pick up a pen and to ask yourself and to really get into the heart of what these questions address. And I also encourage you guys, I'm going to make this a YouTube video, and I want you to share it with your teams too, because this isn't about what you did or what you didn't achieve. This is about where can you grow most. And so these are the 3 questions that I ask myself. Number 1, I ask myself, Katie, were your actions in line with the goals that you set for yourself, right? So I look back at my month and I look at what my goals were. And so on my board, I have all of my goals laid out from, the number of coaches I want to hit Success Club, which isn't really in my control, the number of Success Club points that I want to earn, the number of emeralds I want to add to the team, the number of coaches that I want to add to the organization. So all of these things that I do have an impact on driving, but I don't necessarily have control over. And I take a look at all of that information and I ask myself, okay, did the things that I do, very plain and simple, black and white, did the things that I do, did they line up to what I wanted to achieve? Was what I was doing every day, did it line up with that? And I really make this black and white because action meets the goals. Your actions and what you choose to do every day is what help you achieve the goal. Not what you do one day a month, but what you consistently do every day. And then I reevaluate and I say, this is what you did do. This is the actions that you made sure that you did so that you achieved the goal. And then I look and I say, this is where you fell short, Katie, because of the actions. It wasn't about being gifted or talented or having a sort of amount of luck. It was really about actions lining up with goals. And so if they weren't where I wanted them to be, it was a direct reflection of what I did or I didn't do, just the action of it. So ask yourself, were my actions going to line me up for those goals? So that's the first thing I ask. The second thing, which is totally untraditional and not something I've ever really heard anyone talk about in regard to their goals and their month, is this idea of asking yourself the question, did I build momentum? And momentum is key, right? So I have this son, he's 7 years old and he's learning how to ride a bike. And Mike and I have been frustrated because we feel like he should have this mastered. He should understand this. He should totally get this. He should be on a bike. He should be cruising. He should be with his friends. He should be doing this already. And he hasn't been like that. This has been a process. But what we are learning with Nick is that he builds this momentum to get going, to move, and then he breaks. And his breaking is either based out of fear of what could happen or the fear of, falling, or it's just this uncomfortableness that he reminds himself, oh crap, what if I can't? And I think of you guys, and I think of our business, and I think of me, and I think of how many times we start and we have these great intentions, and then we convince ourselves when we don't hit a goal, or when we slide back, or when somebody tells us we can't, or when somebody gives us an objection, or when somebody, decides that they're going to go to another organization and sell something else, that we break that momentum. And momentum's a crazy thing because once you have built it for so long and you're feeling good and you're moving on that bike and you're pedaling consistently, and then you stop, you have to build it back up again. And so the second question I ask myself is, am I consistently building my momentum? Because if I'm not, that's where we get into this cycle of, well, maybe I'm not doing enough, or maybe I am not enough. And then we get into our heads, and instead of that positive mindset, we're stuck. We find ourselves just cycling and going nowhere, or not even moving the pedals at all. And so I make sure that I do a gut check and I say, Katie, did you build momentum? Did you move your business forward in some way where you were consistent with your actions? And if the answer is no, then I need to get back on my bike, and all I need to do is keep pedaling. All I need to do is go back to the vitals and the things that I know how to do day in and day out and start doing them. And then question number 3 that I ask myself is, what do I want? It's the simplest question, right? What do I want? But it's the hardest one to answer because it's about your clarity. It's about what you want from this business. You know, I talk about the vital behaviors and I talk about Success Club because it's the root. It's the commonality of whatever you want this business to grow into and whatever you want this business to become. It is rooted in the basics. And those basics are inviting consistently every day. Those vitals are being a product of the product. Those vitals are recognizing your successes and your challengers' successes. And those vitals are personal development, so that when it does get hard and you do lose momentum, or you aren't sure why you're doing it, or you just want to polish up your invitations, you're rooted in those things. No matter where you want to go with this business, you've got to stay rooted in the basics. And that's where we get we complicate it. We want it to be like, well, I didn't meet my goal because of this reason or that reason. No, we didn't reach our goal because maybe our actions weren't in line with what the goals we were going to set for ourselves. And those actions should always be rooted in the basics. But knowing what you want is like steering a ship in a direction. When you're clear on what you want, when you have a vision of where you want to go, it becomes easier to build momentum. It becomes easier for you to align your actions. It becomes easier for you to continue to see and to strive for the things that you really want to be able to achieve, but you got to get clear on what that is. And I don't care what you want to do with this business. I don't care if you want to be a 15-star. I don't care if you want to just get your car paid for. I don't care if you want to pay for the groceries or just your Shakeology. At the end of the day, what you need to do is you need to do the basics, period. Day in and day out. And I think about that belief and how this law of attraction works. And when you know what you want and you have a vision of where you want to go, and you know exactly what that vision means for you and for your family and for all those people around you, and you have that clarity of your mind, guess what you start to do? You start to find ways to make it happen. You start to get really clear in your intentions. You start to become that person that you strive to be because your actions are aligned with who that person is. And once that happens, guess what? You start to attract people to you. I see people get frustrated with this business, or they talk about it not working, or they're turning their wheels, or they're spinning their wheels, and they're not hitting Success Club, and they're frustrated, and they're looking around for all of the answers for what isn't working. Is there a secret to what I'm doing? Is there a secret to success when it's not like that? It really is in you. And it really is a matter of being clear with your intent and clear with what you want, and not caring what this business looks like to somebody else. My idea of success now is very different than it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, it was losing 25 pounds and keeping it off, and Beachbody was a great way to stay accountable. And now at this point, it is building a platform with Beachbody so that I have the opportunity to talk about what ESM is on a global level, not just in small groups, but making a greater impact. And that's what Beachbody is to me. It's a platform builder. At this point, that's what it is. It's not about rank. It's not about income. It's a little bit about income, but it's about what I can do because of this business. But you have to understand that where I am now and the vision that I have now is not what it was 5 years ago. And your vision, what it is today, is your vision, and you need to own that. And you need to be like, I want this. I want whatever it is, and I am clear on what that looks like to me, and I am so laser focused on what that clarity is that I have to be successful. There's no plan B. I'm just going to do it. And once you've mastered your mind, that attraction that people have towards you, they're like, I want a piece of that. And they're not exactly sure what that means, but they want it because they see you owning it, and owning it to the extent that you are attracting people directly to you because of your belief. So again, the 3 things before you dive into anything is, number 1, are your actions in line with your goals? Are you doing the things that you need to do on a daily basis to be able to achieve them? Number 2, are you building that momentum? And number 3, getting clear on what you want. And listen, this is that big call to action for you. If you are choosing what you want because you didn't achieve your goals before and you're afraid of achieving your goals, or you're afraid that you'll actually fail at them, you will never be successful at anything. You have to choose what you want based on truly what you value, and not on what you're afraid of, what you value. So get your head right and say to yourself, what do I want? Get so laser clear on that there's no other option but for you to be successful. That is my call to action to you today. That is my call for you to say, stop looking around and start looking within you and saying, this is what I want, this is why I want it, and this is what I'm going to go for. Root yourself in the basics and watch yourself fly. All right.